People been saying, dog, that I need to do more Christian hip hop, some more CHA, some more Reach Records, and obviously Lecrae is one that's been brought up. Roll it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Channel's name is TheThirdErnest. I'm Ernest Adiano III, y'all guys' third family. If you're new here and you're not subscribed and you like what you see at the end of the video, consider becoming part of the family, clicking the subscribe button bottom right hand corner. Now today's song from Lecrae is another Patreon request from the upper tier who gets a request from subscribing to that tier, and it comes from Brandon, and he obviously has requested Lecrae Fear. And I've never really been one to listen to Christian music at all. I've always had the negative connotation in my head that Christian music is very preachy, and Christian music to me was very stereotypical in terms of the sense that we never talked about the human condition. It was more so, let's talk about God and put all of our problems with him, which I know is what you should do, but that's just not the way the human brain works all the time. So I had that negative stigma of Christian hip hop literally up until the moment that I downloaded The Sword and the Arrow by Andy Mineo, and then that's when I realized, like, oh, there's actually real hip hop here, and he's not preaching at me. He is giving me the human condition. He is giving me struggles and pain and fear and you know, just different emotions that humans feel, and it just happens to be with him saying, like, no matter what, God's got my back. I'm not telling you you have to feel like God has your back. I'm just telling you my experiences on earth knowing that God's got my back, and I appreciate that type of music way more than I do like preaching type of music. So I've been meaning to get into more Christian hip hop because people say that there's a lot of people like Andy and their music is very similar, and Lecrae is obviously one of the other bigger names that comes up whenever you mention Andy Mineo. We are now sitting on this track with Lecrae Fear, coming from Brandon, who is a Patreon subscriber who requested this track. Brandon, I appreciate your subscription, my guy. You know, you're obviously allowing me to do what I do best and what I love to do, because everybody on Patreon, including you, are helping support the bills around here now that I am full-time because of the Patreon support. So if you want to potentially be a supporter like Brandon on Patreon, first link in the description, go check that out. But that's really all that I'm gonna say. I'm giving you a little backstory in terms of how I felt about Christian hip hop, and I haven't really listened to too much Lecrae, so I'm excited to get into it and hear if it's more so like what people are telling me, that it's more like Andy's music. So follow your boy on Instagram and on Twitter at TheThirdErnest, just like the channel. Links are down in the description below, and we got Fear. Let's get it.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me.
So I am spiritual enough to know that what that is. I'm spiritual enough to know that obviously I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I feel no evil. And obviously Kanye West said that I believe in Jesus Walks, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it wasn't Kanye West, maybe it was Coolio on Gangsta's Paradise. But either way, I know that.
I honestly grow insecure as I get older. Cause even when you hot, there comes a day when you get colder. Comes a day when you slower. Time is taking its toll. 45 on the back of the jersey upon your soul. I'm scared of letting go. I don't.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I like to hear, like the pain and the human condition. Like even when you're hot, there comes a day that you get colder. Like you're gonna fade eventually in the eyes of people. Or literally, if you're hot, like you're gonna get colder inside of your soul. Like you're gonna become a little more sinister. You're gonna become a little more jaded, and that's real life. That's the way it works. Comes a day when you get slower. Comes a day when you get older. Like you are eventually going to end just like everybody else. Your life is eventually gonna end.
On your soul, I'm scared of letting go. I don't know what the future holds. My nightmares are having nightmares. I'm quite scared of what's right and fair.
Boy, hold the phones. I'm still trying to, like, on the CHH, you know, version of songs, I'm trying to like to hold back on the cuss words and all that, because I'm trying to make sure the people who watch this and want to show their kids that I'm not just out here throwing F-bombs left and right like I normally do. But yo, that beat came in like that. Whew, son.
I'm scared of letting go. I don't know what the future holds. My nightmares are having nightmares. I'm quite scared of what's right and fair. How I fare in eternity. Will I hear well done when he's turning me? Will I hear you care too much about all this stuff that really don't matter? You chase the wind and you won and you got to the top of a 2-foot ladder. What's after I can capture all this?
Bro, okay, see, like, these are the spirit. I can obviously tell this is a spiritually filled song. He's talking about God. Like, he's talking about that what the perception of him is, caring about the things that don't matter. Like, you get to the top of your career, you get to the top of success. In the end, you're at the top of a 2-foot ladder because all of eternity waits on the other side of your life. If you only care about this much, what are you really caring about? Like, that's a dope ass line. And I'm smart enough to know that like he's talking about and insinuating about, you know, your life in eternity, your life in heaven or hell, like where are you gonna end up by what you do on earth. But yo, even without that, that's a dope ass line. Even without the spiritual nature of the bar, it's fire. Will I hear well done when he turns to me? Like when Jesus or when God like lets us into the pearly gates, into the heavens, like will I hear well done that I did my time on earth in the way that he wanted? Or did I care too much about the stuff that really don't matter? You chased the wind and you got it, you captured it, but you stood on the top of a 2-foot ladder. Like, that's dope. That's a dope line.
Got to the top of a 2-foot ladder. What's after? I can capture all this mess my heart was after. Will I end up empty-handed when I stand before my master? Did I master the mathematics of a passive disaster? Adding my selfish ambition, otherwise subtracting what matters.
Yo. This is fire right here. He said, did I master the mathematics of a passive disaster? That scheme right there, bro. Did I master the mathematics of a passive disaster, adding my selfish ambitions, like not living my life for you, not living my life for God, while subtracting what really matters, like subtracting Jesus, subtracting the faith out of his life, because we're too concerned about the material in this physical world. That's a bar, bro.
Mathematics of a passive disaster, adding my selfish ambition, otherwise subtracting what matters. Nights I can't sleep. Will I fall? Will I peek through the curtains? All I see, fingers pointed at me, and they watching, and they watching, and they watching, and they watching, and I'm wondering what they thinking about. Late nights I can't sleep, counting cash, counting sheep through the curtains. All I see, fingers pointed right at me, and I'm watching. And I'm wondering what they thinking about it all. At high school, we tried to act.
Okay, so that was fire. Like I'm counting cash. I'm like living it up here, but all the while I know that through the curtains they're looking at me and they're wondering, do I actually care about what really matters? Conceptually, with the music, like the way that the beat switched up, I'm not too sure if I like it like that. I gotta listen to the rest of the song because that was kind of it's jarring in the beginning when it goes from what he's talking and then the beat drops. But this is like a completely different, like softer sound, and I know that it's to contrast the heavy, like aggressive nature of the instrumental. But I'm not too sure if I like that just yet.
At high school, we tried to act all tough. I remember a couple times I couldn't back that up. Like when I ran from them vatos, scuffing up my zapatos. Scared of losing my hide, I was so embarrassed inside. If I could go back in time, I would stand and say something like, I ain't never scared, never scared, never scared.
Yo, it's fire. If I'm not mistaken, let me look it up real quick. I want to say that he's from Houston. Yep, Houston, Texas. Damn, he's 40? All right, I see you, dog. Black don't crack, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the fact that he's from Houston, like that, and I figured that he was, and it's dope that he talked about vatos and zapatos because obviously Texas is very Tex-Mex. Even in Houston, there's a lot of Hispanics, so he probably grew up around them, like talking like that. That's dope. And he said, I remember always having to talk tough until some of the days that I knew that I couldn't back it up, and all that talk ended in something that I knew was gonna come, but I kept talking that talk anyways. Like for what? What was the reason for it?
I ain't never scared, never scared, never scared. I'm lying, I'm scared of these thoughts in my head.
Hold up. When did this song come out? This song had to be out way before Never Scared by, damn, what's the name of the Bone Crusher? I Ain't Never Scared. And I don't know if he's like alluding to that song, but that's dope if he is.
Never scared, never scared. I'm lying, I'm scared of these thoughts in my head. I'm scared of possibly pushing people right over the ledge. When I say I pledge allegiance to the struggle, then I turn around and buckle under stress and under pressure. Bar below my dresser that could teach my pain a lesson, but I'd rather not address it. Addresses in depression. I'm scared if I confess it that you gon' look at me like I'm something less, and I'm such a mess.
Fire verse right there, dog. Again, like, you know, you can hear the spirituality in the song, but again, he's not preaching at me like saying like all of these problems, all the stresses of the world, I embrace the struggle because I got God on my side. Like you should do that too. It's not that type of music. He's talking about his own struggle between the physical world and how to adapt and how to put his spiritual life and like, you know, and comfort his soul with spirituality in the physical world. And those two things often battle each other. I know that there's scripture inside of there that could help my soul, that could help me in my mental state getting out of this, but I'd rather not address it. I'd rather hide it because I don't know the way that you're gonna think about me if I confess that, you know?
And it just so happens I'm wrestling with my status. I'm trying to see me like he do, not focusing on this madness. They count on me, count me out on account of they fear and doubts. Keep me counting my wrongs, trying to keep me inside their house. Some just
yo, bro, that wordplay right there, that rhyme scheme, I'm trying to see me like he do, because like he's talking about God or like Jesus, like they see us as perfect. Like he died for our sins. So he sees us as worthy, where we might not see ourselves as worthy a lot of the time. But he said they count on me and count me out, like all in the same sentence, based off of on the account of their fear and doubt. Like they're looking at me through their immortal eyes, their non-perfect eyes as well. They keep in count of my wrongs, trying to keep me inside their house. Like they're trying to keep me here, burdened down here, as opposed to letting those burdens go and be with God, so that way we can live, you know, righteous, however Lecrae sees fit for his life.
some just keep me around, gotta wonder what that's about. Yeah, they wanna be politically correct, I suppose, but I'm comfortable in my skin while they just pretending they close. I'm scared of falling and failing in front of all of my foes, and I feel some friends are unfaithful, so I keep my small circle closed. I don't want no handouts.
My friends are unfaithful, so I keep my small circle closed. Like I can't be letting that negativity in my life. I can't be failing in front of all of my foes, dog. Those are bars. Those are wordplay for sure. And the multiple syllable rhyme scheme, y'all know that I love that. I'm comfortable in my skin while they just pretending they're closed. That's fire.
So I keep my small circle closed. I don't want no handouts or favors, no functional saviors. I'ma tell that truth till it kill me, and I'm chilling with my creator. Jesus, 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 Jesus to all of my haters. For the ones who think I forgot them and the ones who won't let me say it. I ain't scared no more.
The ones that think that I forgot, and the ones who say I should be afraid or too scared that I say it. So he says it for both sides of the argument. Like I didn't forget him, and I'm not too afraid to say it to the people that don't want to hear it. A man that stands on his conviction, you know, but also telling us at the same time, like he's mortal and not everything is all sunshine and roses, even when you got God on your side.
Through the curtains on the sea, fingers pointed at me, and they watching, and they watching, and they watching, and they watching, and I'm wondering what they thinking about. Late nights I can't sleep, counting cash, counting sheep. Through the curtains on the sea, fingers pointing right at me, and I'm watching, and I'm watching, and I'm wondering what they thinking about. Everybody always.
That's it, dude. The chorus is dope. After hearing it the second time and hearing how it like contrasts with the heavy-handed like bass and 808 of the production of the verses, the chorus is dope.
Everybody always, they gon' have something to say, whether you like it or not. Everybody always, they gon' have something to say, baby, don't take it to heart. Something to say.
恐怖を受け入れることを恐れる者はそれに打ち勝つことはできないだろう。
I think it's dope that he's putting these different languages within the song, because it's saying basically that the whole world can relate to the faith, you know?
自由は存在し恐怖は解き放たれる。
The peaceful nature of the instrumental without the bass, without the heavy-handedness of the verses. It's almost like the aggressiveness of the verses, especially what he's talking about, and the aggressiveness within the instrumental. It's like that's down here on heaven, like that. I mean, that's down here on earth. That's like him struggling with burdens and struggling with the way that people think and feel about him, and he's wondering what they're thinking, and they're wondering what he's thinking. But then at the very end of the track, and even in the choruses, that heavy-handed instrumental, that aggressive pattern, the aggressive 808s, they just lift. So everything feels a lot lighter. That's the production representation of what it feels like to let those burdens go and let it be with God, you know? That's dope. Yo, Brandon, first off, bro, I appreciate the request for this track because it allowed me to get to some Lecrae sooner. So yeah, one, I appreciate the request, and two, obviously, I strongly appreciate the Patreon support. Once again, if anybody out there wants to become Patreon to support in the way that Brandon is, I would really appreciate it. I need to have Patreon support to keep the channel alive, basically. But yo, that brings us to the end of this video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you see, please consider liking the video and leaving a comment down below. If you like what you see enough, please consider subscribing, because these long form breakdowns rounds is how we do it around here. Follow your boy on Instagram and on Twitter at TheThirdErnest, just like the channel. Links are down in the description below. Hit up the Discord, also down in the description below. But that's all that I got for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Like I always say at the very end, I appreciate everybody's time, and go out there in the world, love and care for one another, love and care for each other. And I'll catch everybody on the next video. Peace.